Hello, fans, and welcome back to Go Side. Joey Barton has a strong reputation in the footballing world for being a rough, no-nonsense type of midfielder willing to go to all lengths to get the win for his team, even if it means sacrificing himself and doing all the dirty work. However, there's a lot more under the surface for Barton. He wasn't just considered a rough man on the pitch, but his off-the-pitch antics, fights, long nights, all contributed to his image as the bad boy of English football. Perhaps the most recognizable club for Barton is Manchester City, where he spent 5 colorful years, to put it that way. One of his first incidents involved sending his teammate, Ousmane Dabo, to the hospital after an altercation in the training session. The aftermath of the event? Suspended 4-month jail sentence and a 12-match ban from the Football Federation. You'd think he learned his lesson on that one, but that's far from the truth. City got tired of his antics, so they shipped him to Newcastle United. Barton continued being Barton there, too. He missed the New Year's fixture for Magpies, not because of injury or suspension, but because he was in jail. That's right, a common assault charge saw him locked up, thus missing his team's match. He completed his hat trick in the 2007-08 season when he was charged with a common assault and a fray once again. Only this time he had to serve a whopping 6-month sentence in prison. 2009 was supposed to be a fresh start, but Alan Shearer, Newcastle legend and a manager at the time, was furious with Barton for earning a completely unnecessary red card after recklessly tackling Javi Alonso. 2 years later, Barton's loudmouth discovered Twitter, which he promptly used to insult his own club. This got him transfer listed because the Magpies couldn't cope with his problems anymore. He moved to Queen's Park Rangers, who wanted some fresh blood and excitement. Well, they got some. The epic final day of the season, when Aguero scored in the 93rd minute to clinch the title for the Citizens, would have never happened if you asked Mr. Joey Barton. He was rampant on the pitch that day, providing a horrific tackle on Aguero, trying to headbutt Vincent Kompany, before eventually earning a red card after elbowing Carlos Tevez. It was an eventful afternoon that day, and not just because of Aguero's match winner. Subsequently, it was the horrible day against City. He was banned for 12 matches with a $75,000 fine due to 2 acts of violence conducted on that day. The happy summer of 2012 saw him on the wrong end of things when he was punched in the face at a nightclub in Liverpool. QPR launched an investigation later on regarding his involvement in the Manchester City clash, accusing him of purposefully receiving a red card, and it concluded with Barton receiving 6 weeks' wages. Barton's move to Marseille was quite interesting as well. Just as you'd expect, the Englishman caught fire with Paris Saint-Germain superstars, mainly Thiago Silva out of all people. Even though Silva is considered a model professional without a stain on his career, Barton called him overweight ladyboy on Twitter. The return to England brought some success on the pitch. Barton was named in the PFA Team of the Year championship as his Burnley managed the promotion to the Premier League that season. However, Barton decided to change the environment at the end of the season, and the Glasgow Rangers move was like a tailor-made for the old firm rivalry in Scotland. He even once launched an attack on the Celtics manager Brendan Rodgers, saying that he's going through a midlife crisis. The team's defeat to Celtic didn't go down too well at Rangers. He got in a fight with Andy Halliday, leading to Barton actually apologizing on Twitter after the event. He now manages Fleetwood Town FC, but the incidents are still a common occurrence around Barton. It's easy to put all the blame for his antics on Joey Barton, but his childhood was all but easy, and it led him to a life full of uncertainty and insecurity, resulting in countless fights and heated moments both on and off the pitch. Even though his parents divorced when he was 14, Barton still has the back when asked about his childhood. My dad didn't need a textbook on social conditioning to know his parental duty was to make sure no one fucks with me. If you look at the socioeconomic backgrounds of most footballers, they come from certain parts of town. But I'm not going to bastardize the place I come from. It's made me who I am, good and bad. It's given me some character flaws, but it's also made a great part of my character. Throughout all the bad stuff, Barton's self-awareness seems to be hitting the surface. It's worth noting that there's a good reason the Premier League's kept him on the side all those years despite his bad behavior and team chemistry. It's because Barton's defensive midfielder skill set fit perfectly to shield the center backs doing anything he needs for the team. However, Barton was far from a rough old-school defensive midfielder who couldn't play with the ball. In fact, he developed year after year in that regard and became highly regarded as a player who could score and assist, even dribbling his way out of the back. The story of Joey Barton is a story of unfulfilled potential due to a number of circumstances, but one thing is for sure. He made himself a part of the Premier League's history because you don't see a character like him every day.